YouTube. I'm taking you through the field right now because I am scouting for just what the state of the plants look like. We are having our first CSA, or I'm calling it Flower of the Month bouquet pickup this upcoming Friday. Now, today's Monday, but it starts as early as this inventory that I have, the types of bouquets that I can make. And I want to share a little bit of a tip for those of you who are like me, very small scale, and want to sell a decent amount of bouquets, but may not have something like a walk-in cooler, and you might just be working with a normal refrigerator. This time of year, I'm relying on a lot of plants that are perennials, and these are plants that seem to do pretty well in terms of vase life on their own. So I'm talking about things like yarrow that has like a 10-day vase life, sea holly over there, which really like will last forever because it can dry. But I also have things like lilies, which have a great vase life, but once they start opening up, each individual bud is not going to have as long of a vase life. So because I don't have a cooler, I want to be really on top of making sure that I am pulling like this today. That goes into my refrigerator that gets first priority. When I make the 15 bouquets that I have to make, it's probably actually going to be closer to like 19 or 20 because I got to make some for the country store. I am not going to have the capacity to all of those bouquets into my refrigerator. I might be able to fit, I don't know, like 7 to like 8 at most because of how big they are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that over like after when I make those bouquets, I probably will have about like a 36-hour type of period where they're going to be outside. It's not going to get super hot, but it's still going to be in the 80s. So at that point, these lilies will start opening up, which is totally fine. I just don't want them to open up too much before I get to the state where they definitely have to be outside. So you can tell that there are some lilies that are totally ready. And if you've never harvested a lily before, this is the perfect stage. You want to see some color over here. You want to see that they're just slightly start to lift. And this one is still not even close to lifting, which is really good. So I find that if you buy a mix of lilies, you're going to find that there's like certain varieties that are going to be ready first. So this is like orange yellow one with some freckles. Minorca, which is one of my favorite orange type of lilies, also tends to be among the first to be ready. And then there are some other ones that I really like that are going to open up later. Here's another example. This is a double LA hybrid, which by the way, LA hybrids are non-fragrant, but this is another double. It's white, and white is typically really hard to figure out when to harvest, but you can see over here that the petals are just starting to lift, and I know that this is going to be ready pretty soon. I am still trying to figure out how to know when exactly to harvest white color lilies. So I'm going to give these a little bit more time than I typically would for other types of lilies. But as I'm doing my walkthrough, I should have enough lilies for my focals. I will definitely have enough sea holly. In my latest video, if you haven't seen it yet, it's really a June farm tour, but I talked about how I'm able to really extend my harvest time with something like a sea holly, because even though right now this isn't ready, the middle over here is ready, and you can see there's a little bit of color over here. And so what I'll do is I'll harvest all of this and take off the side shoots. And a lot of people don't like sea holly because it's a little smelly. You can smell like poop when it's fully mature. I can tell you that at this stage it does not smell at all, which is why I love working with it at this stage. Let me show you a couple of other flowers that I'm going to have. So the yarrow is definitely coming in. You can see lots of tall, good yarrow. This patch over here especially, look at that. Like these are really beefy stems. And I'm really excited because one of the customers has a sister that's getting married, so they're also buying a DIY bucket. They definitely want as much yarrow as possible. This is a very profitable crop, in case of you couldn't tell, because this is year 3 of these yarrow, and I'm still getting some good color. This has become like a shorts June tour plus 1 week out from that last video that I did. You can see the cilantro is going crazy. The cilantro has added that good textural air element into my bouquet. And then what else am I going to put in there? I'm also going to put, I was hoping that these poppies would be ready in time, but they're not. These are bread poppies, so I think they'll be ready. And probably it's going to be really hot next week, so probably the week after. These are like week